number 3 here, multiplying and dividing rational functions. Okay, so again, there's no adding or subtracting, so that means it's all multiplication, so I can just cancel out common factors, right, because there's no adding or subtracting in here. So across the top, we can just look at these 12s and 3s and 8s and 9s, and I can just break them down to its factors, right? 12 is 4 times 3. 8 is 4 times 2. 9 is 3 times 3. Now, when I'm multiplying on top by something and dividing by that same number, they cancel, right? Same thing here. Multiplying by 4, dividing by 4, those would cancel. I get multiplying by 3, dividing by 3, those can cancel. So all I have left on the bottom here is just this 2, right, is on bottom. Now, same thing with my variables, right? I have an x on top. Let's maybe switch colors here. I have an x on top. I have an x on bottom. They can cancel. I have a y on top. I have a y on bottom. They can cancel, right? And now I just have y cubed on bottom. No other y's to cancel that, so that stays on bottom. And then I have an x squared. And there we go. And that's simplified, right? There it is. Okay, now when you're dividing, that is the same thing as just multiplying by the reciprocal. I just flipped that second fraction, right? Now I can do the same thing as I did on top because there's no adding or subtracting here. I can just break down my numbers. 10 is 5 times 2. 30, or 4. 4 is just 2 times 2. 6 is just 2 times 3. And 30 is just 6 times 5, which is 6 is 2 times 3. So I have a 2 on top, a 2 on bottom, that would cancel. I have another 2 on top and another 2 on bottom, that would cancel. I have a 3 on bottom and I don't have another 3 on bottom, so that's going to stay on bottom, so that 3 would stay on bottom. I have a 5 on bottom and a 5 here, so those would cancel. That means I'm just left with that 2 on top, so 2/3. Okay, and then now we can look at the variables. So variables, I have a d to the 5th. Means I have 5 d's there, right? And I have 1 d on bottom, 2 3d's on bottom. So d to the 5th and d cubed, that would leave me, right, with d to the 2nd. So d to the 2nd on top. And now I can look at my c's. I got 1 c on top, and I got 3 c's, 4 c's on bottom, right? So I can just maybe just cancel this one out. So I got 3 c's on bottom, so c cubed on bottom, and there we go. So when I'm dividing, I just flip the fraction and cancel out like terms, right? Because there's no adding or subtracting here, so I don't have to do cab or anything like that. But when you're dividing, you're multiplying by the reciprocal.